If you're a caregiver, you've probably been there. That moment of just pure frustration and confusion, where a simple, everyday task suddenly feels like climbing a mountain. But what if there's a powerful, science backed way to change that whole dynamic? Let's dive in and see what's really happening. You've said the words, kindly and clearly. The water's warm, the towels are all ready to go, everything is set up for success. And then you're met with nothing, just a blank look, a feeling of being completely and totally stuck. And it's a moment that can leave both of you feeling pretty lost. So what's really going on here? Well, it turns out that familiar bathroom that you see every day might have secretly turned into a kind of obstacle course for an aging mind. This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's almost never about defiance or stubbornness. The real answer is all about how the brain is processing the world around it. The real culprit here is something called stimulus overload. Just try to imagine every bottle, every shiny reflection, every echo in the room, all of it shouting for attention at the same time. For an aging nervous system, all that sensory noise is just overwhelming, and the brain's response is often to just shut down. And this brings us to a really huge shift in how we think about this. What if the solution isn't trying to change the person at all, but instead changing their surroundings? So here's the crucial point. Most of that feeling of being overwhelmed doesn't come from inside the person. It comes from the environment. And that's something you have the power to change, pretty easily and effectively too. This slide really just highlights that massive difference in perception. On one side, you see a totally familiar bathroom, but for an aging mind, it can be this really confusing landscape of competing information. Shiny surfaces, bottles that look alike, patterns on the floor. It can all just be way too much. And hey, this isn't just a nice theory. A recent study in behavior analysis, research, and practice found that when a caregiver made just a few simple tweaks to the environment, like getting rid of extra bottles and using clearer prompts, his wife's independence in the shower just soared. No nagging, no forcing, just simple, smart changes. Okay, so how do you actually do it? Let's get practical. It all boils down to a simple 3-step guide for re-engineering the environment for success. So these are our 3 pillars: reduce the noise, use gentle prompts, and build routines. It's a really clear roadmap to making these daily tasks a whole lot easier and more peaceful for everyone. All right, step 1 is all about decluttering the senses. Get rid of those 7 half-used bottles of shampoo. Just keep out what's needed for this shower right now. And think about high-contrast colors too. A dark towel on a white wall, for example, is a super easy target to see. The goal here is simple. Clarity creates calm. Next up, prompts. We often jump straight to telling someone what to do, but it can be way more effective to start with the lightest touch possible. Maybe just placing the shampoo in the path of their hand is enough. If not, then you can move to a simple gesture. The idea is to guide, not to take over. This is the golden rule right here. Always use the least amount of help that's necessary. This really preserves a person's sense of autonomy and dignity, which is absolutely critical. And finally, routine. The body remembers things that the mind might not. A simple, repeatable sequence, like start, wash, finish. It just removes all the anxiety of having to make a decision. There's no guesswork, just a smooth, predictable flow. Now, let's talk about the real why behind all of this. Because these practical steps, they have a deep, profound emotional impact. This is all about protecting a person's dignity. Just think about how often an older adult might hear the word no. Every single correction, no matter how well-intentioned it is, can feel like a failure. It just chips away at their confidence and can even create what's called learned helplessness. And this really gets to the very heart of the shift. When we correct the person, we're creating frustration. But when we correct the environment, we're actually setting them up to succeed on their own terms. It's a total game changer. This is what it's all about. You're not there to manage their failures. You're there to be an architect for their successes. You're building a world where they can find their own yes. And the best part? This isn't just about taking a shower. This whole principle of stimulus control can be applied to almost every single part of daily life. Just think about it for a second. Setting out only one outfit instead of a whole closet full of choices, placing medication right next to their morning coffee cup, pre-setting the toothbrush with paste. Wherever the environment is confusing, behavior gets harder, and wherever it's clear, life just gets easier. So, I'll leave you with this question.
After watching this, take a second to think about your own situation. Where is one place, maybe one small corner of a room, where you can reduce some of that sensory noise today and help someone you care for find their own yes?